where you want it.
Bay 12, please.
Hello there Transformers fans, and welcome back to another Bay 12 video review. And today we are reviewing the new Optimus Primal from the main line of Transformers Rise of the Beast. And by main line, I mean this is specifically branded as the Transformers Rise of the Beast toy line. And this is not the same as the Studio Series line. The Studio Series line is still going to be that more collector targeted version of Optimus Primal that is coming later. Hasbro has announced that they are doing a Studio Series release, which will likely be very different from this figure. But since Hasbro hasn't actually shown what that figure is going to look like, and I saw this one in person on shelf, and it looks pretty good based off of what we've seen in the trailer so far, I said to heck with it and decided not to wait for that. Now, we'll still pick up the Studio Series Optimus Primal. We'll compare the two, and I'll see which one I like more. But so far from what I've seen, I actually do really like this figure a lot, and I especially like the transformation of this figure. So anyway, here he is in the packaging. He's in that new Rise of the Beast packaging, open window packaging. You've got some Optimus Primal close-up artwork on the side of him in Gorilla Mode. Of course, there is him in Gorilla Mode right there. Robot Mode and Gorilla Mode for the toy on the back. And that's pretty much it for the packaging. And real quick before we do our close-up, we'll go ahead and do our comparisons. Since we do have two of the other Maximals already from Studio Series, here is Optimus Primal with Cheetor and Airazor. I don't know how I feel about the size of Cheetor next to Primal. I know they're all going to be quite large in this film. I know that they're doing their own new scaling with these characters in the upcoming Rise of the Beasts, and all of the Maximals are going to be pretty huge. But having Cheetor taller than Primal, I don't know how I feel about that. Now, the mainline figures so far seem to be a little bit smaller than their Studio Series counterparts. The mainline Cheetor, which looks nothing like the on-screen representation, by the way, is smaller than this Cheetor, and the mainline Deluxe Airazor from the photos I've seen online definitely looks smaller than this Airazor. So maybe the upcoming Studio Series Optimus Primal will be a little bit bigger, and the mainline Optimus Prime is smaller than the Studio Series Bumblebee Optimus Prime by a little bit too. So maybe Primal will be taller than Cheetor in Robot Mode. Maybe he'll be a little bit shorter than Cheetor in Robot Mode, which again I think would be interesting. It makes me wonder if they're doing like a Tigatron thing with Cheetor, because Tigatron was quite tall in the original Beast Wars. Cheetor was one of the shorter characters in Beast Wars. So who knows? Who knows? Maybe this just is how the three of them will be side by side. And then, of course, there's going to be Rhinox in the mix in the future, which has also officially been announced for Studio Series, but also has a mainline toy that people have already been finding and looks very cool. So there you have those three side by side. Having the three of these guys together is just making me more and more excited. I know I've said that in every single Rise of the Beast figure review so far, but I seriously mean it every single time. With each new figure, the more excited and the more I cannot wait for this movie to come out. I've been more than eagerly waiting for the next Transformers film. And real quick, here is Optimus Primal next to Optimus Prime. And I actually like the size difference between these two figures a lot. I like that Optimus Primal has a decent size to him in his robot mode, but I like that he's not quite as large as Optimus Prime, and I hope their scaling side by side in robot mode, especially on screen, is much like this. I don't think they should be equal height. I don't think they should be equal size. I think Optimus should definitely be bigger than Optimus, but I also really like how they look in alt mode side by side as well. More on that when we're comparing their alt modes. So here is Optimus Primal in his robot mode, nice and up close. He's got a really cool head sculpt. Really like that new head sculpt of his in his robot mode. Nice bright blue eyes, although in the movie it looks like he's going to have green eyes, so okay. Love the silver paneling, love the textured fur parts on his limbs. And I like how in robot mode there's almost no fur bits visible whatsoever on his torso, which is kind of interesting. Paint-wise, my biggest complaint about his robot mode is the fists. They just seem kind of plain. I feel like they should have been cast or at least painted in the same silver color as the swords and other metallic bits of the robot mode, just because they just kind of stand out. Same with his robot mode feet, but his robot mode feet don't bug me as much as his robot mode hands do, just because of that, the way the gray just kind of stands out. Or if not the metallic silver, at least this metallic gunmetal gray that the rest of this figure is cast in. Even that I think would be better and preferential to just the regular solid bland flat gray plastic that the hands are cast in. That's really my biggest and probably only complaint about this figure, truly. In robot mode, he is fully articulated, head is on a ball joint, fully articulated shoulders, in and out on the arms, and as you can see, those shoulder pads articulate as well. Upper bicep, single jointed elbows, wrist joints, waist, hips, inner thigh joint, double jointed knees, mostly due to transformation, side ankle joints, and the front of the foot can go up and down, but that's mostly due to transformation. Speaking of transformation, his transformation is quite simple. But before we set his twin swords aside, you can store them on his back. They just peg in right there like so, which is pretty cool. So starting transformation, after you set his swords aside, what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to his arms. We're going to bring them out like so. We're going to come over here to this panel on his back. We're going to lift up his butt. We're going to rotate that waist around so his monkey feet are facing forward. We're going to open these panels on his shins, which may be a little difficult to get into, so just use that sword and open that panel up. Fold his feet, the sides of his feet down, and then just fold that into the back of his leg. Close that panel. Close that panel back up. There we go. Close that panel back up. Do the same thing over here. Fold those feet. Open up that panel. Fold that in. Close that panel back up. And then we're going to... But before we finish with the legs, we're actually going to do the chest section first. So untab his robot mode chest right here, and this is the fun part that I really like a lot. I love how his chest transforms the most. Open these two sides up. They just rotate to the side. Pull on this section, rotate his robot mode and gorilla mode, and push it back in. Bring his head back up a little bit. Bring this chest, the robot mode chest section up, and push it in. And then we're going to close his gorilla mode chest section like so. And now he's got his gorilla chest. I love that. That is so cool. All right, now we can finish up the legs. On that double knee joint, we are going to bring his legs all the way forward on that upper section of the joint. And then we are going to bring his thighs all the way back as far as they'll go. Bring that back panel back down over them. And just adjust the arms to your preference. I like to kind of have them facing like so. So you have like these fur in the back of the palms facing forward, which is very, very gorilla-like in stance. Put him on all fours and raise the head up like so. And there is Optimus Primal in his gorilla mode. Now, of course, you can get him to stand on his hind legs, because what gorilla can't stand on their hind legs? And you can even make him beat his chest, because that is something he does in the trailer, and it's just something really cool to see a gorilla do, let's be honest. And here are all of the Maximals in their beast modes side by side. And despite how I feel about Optimus and Cheetor in their robot modes, I think the three of them look really awesome. And again, like I said earlier, they're going to be pretty large in this movie in their beast modes. And they do really look awesome side by side in their beast modes. And here is Prime and Primal side by side in their alt modes. And this is what I was talking about earlier when I said I really like how they look in beast mode next to truck mode. Just seeing the two side by side like this is really, really cool. And it's going to be a dream come true seeing this on the big screen. Guys, thank you so much for tuning into today's review featuring the Transformers Rise of the Beasts mainline Voyager class Optimus Primal. What do you think they're going to change with the Studio Series Optimus Primal? Do you think the mold is going to be pretty similar? Do you think he's going to be a little bit larger? Or do you think it's going to be the same figure just with some better paint apps and maybe some more fine detail showing through on the figure? Let us know in the comments. I do think it's strange that Hasbro hasn't at least shown what the figure is going to look like, because they definitely already have done the figure itself. There's no way they haven't already engineered the figure and have at the very least some prototype figures that they could show off, because if they're going to have that figure released later this year, that means that figure is already in production and likely already being shipped overseas to, well, wherever those figures are going to be carried as we speak. So like I said, I think it's strange that they didn't at the very least show off what the Studio Series Optimus Primal is going to look like, because it's not like it's some big mystery that Optimus Primal is in the film. It's not like this figure is going to have some special secrets that is going to be some major spoiler for the film, at least so we think. We already know that Optimus Primal is coming. You know, we already know he's in the movie. We already know he's coming in Studio Series. So just show the toy, you know. Or maybe that's just their plan to get us for two. You know, the fans who are impatient like myself, who just have to have an Optimus Primal for that Bumblebee shelf right now, like I did, who just saw it on shelf and go, okay, maybe I won't wait for the Studio Series one, and I end up buying the same character twice. That's probably what's going to happen. But who knows? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Are you looking forward to the Studio Series, or are you satisfied with the mainline Primal? Are you excited to see Optimus and Optimus team up in this upcoming film? Has this been something you've been looking forward to a very long time like I have? Let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe, follow us on social media, check out some of our other content here on Bay 12. In case you're local or visiting in town, come by our store. It's inside Order 66 Multiverse in the Shops at Willowbend Mall in Plano, Texas. We'll see you guys later. We'll see you another time. Transform and roll out. Or as Primal would say, maximize.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.